Dots to get the full picture.
You're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I am Anil Thomas. Coming up in the next 60 minutes. Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks in Lok Sabha on last day of budget session, hails game-changing reforms which will lay the foundation of strong India. 17th Lok Sabha sees 97% productivity. Home Minister Amit Shah guarantees Citizen Amendment Act implementation ahead of Lok Sabha 2024 showdown. Nawaz Sharif reaches out to Pakistan's People Party leader Bilawal Bhutto for a coalition government formation in Pakistan. Independent candidates backed by Imran Khan emerge as single largest group in the National Assembly. India's squad for the last 3 tests versus England announced, with Akashdeep getting a maiden test call. Virat and Shreyas out. Ravindra Jadeja, KL Rahul in with a condition. Well, the last day of the budget session of Parliament saw Prime Minister Modi address the last sitting of the 17th Lok Sabha. The PM hailed the new Parliament building and the path-breaking legislative reforms with 97 productivity in the 5-year period. He also outlined the vision for the next 25 years to make India a developed nation. A detailed look at the final day of sitting of the 17th Lok Sabha. On the final day of the 17th Lok Sabha, Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Parliament. Speaking in the Lower House, Prime Minister Modi exuded confidence that the country will keep blessing the 17th Lok Sabha for fulfilling the mantra for New India.
एक प्रकार से ही आज का दिवस हम सब की उन 5 वर्ष की वैचारिक यात्रा का, राष्ट्र को समर्पित उस समय का, देश को फिर से एक बार अपने संकल्पों को राष्ट्र के चरणों में समर्पित करना ये अवसर है। ये 5 वर्ष देश में रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म एंड ट्रांसफॉर्म, ये बहुत रेयर होता है कि रिफॉर्म भी हो, परफॉर्म भी हो और हम ट्रांसफॉर्म होता अपनी आंखों के सामने देख पाते हो, एक नया विश्वास भरता हो। ये अपने आप में 17वीं लोकसभा से आज देश अनुभव कर रहा है और मुझे पक्का विश्वास है कि देश 17वीं लोकसभा को जरूर आशीर्वाद देता रहेगा।
Prime Minister hailed the new Parliament building and thanked all members of the House for the 97% productivity achieved in the 17th Lok Sabha. He cited important legislative reforms to praise the outgoing Lok Sabha.
जब भी इस नए सदन की चर्चा होगी तो नारी शक्ति वंदन अधिनियम इसका जिक्र होकर के, यानी एक, और भले ही वो छोटा सत्र था लेकिन दूरगामी निर्णय करने वाला सत्र था। इस नए सदन की पवित्रता का एहसास उसी पल शुरू हो गया था जो हम लोगों को एक नई शक्ति देने वाला है और उसी का परिणाम है कि आने वाले समय में जब बहुत बड़ी मात्रा में यहाँ हमारी माताएं बहनें बैठी होगी, देश गौरव की अनुभूति।
Thanking all the members of Parliament, Prime Minister Modi emphasized the long journey of India's democracy. He highlighted the upcoming Lok Sabha elections and the opportunity it presents to increase the world's respect for our country.
चुनाव बहुत दूर नहीं है, कुछ लोगों को थोड़ी घबराहट रहती होगी, लेकिन ये लोकतंत्र का सहज आवश्यक पहलू है। हम सब उसको गर्व से स्वीकार करते हैं और मुझे विश्वास है कि हमारे चुनाव भी देश की शान बढ़ाने वाले, लोकतंत्र की हमारी जो परंपरा है पूरे विश्व को अचंभित करने वाले अवश्य रहेंगे, ये मेरा पक्का विश्वास है।
In his 45 minutes address, Prime Minister praised the role played by the states in the G20 presidency hosted by India. The Prime Minister also outlined the vision for the next 25 years to help India become a developed nation. With inputs from Vikas Sarthi, Anil Thomas for DD India. Well, the budget session of Parliament came to an end on Saturday with both houses holding fruitful discussions. The lower house held discussions on consecration ceremony of Ram Temple in Ayodhya, while the upper house, the Rajya Sabha, took up discussions on white paper on the Indian economy. A detailed look.
On the last day of the budget session of Indian Parliament, both houses saw smooth transactions on Saturday. The lower house took up a discussion on the construction of Ram Temple and the consecration ceremony held at Ayodhya in Indian state of Uttar Pradesh on January 22nd. India's Home Minister Amit Shah said that Prime Minister Modi took all sections of society along during Ram Mandir consecration.
ये पूरा आंदोलन मान्यवर जब भी दुनिया का इतिहास लिखा जाएगा एक डेमोक्रेटिक वैल्यू के रूप में देखा जाएगा कि कोई एक देश अपने बहुमती समाज की धार्मिक विश्वास की पूर्ति के लिए इतने समय धैर्य रखकर सुप्रीम कोर्ट में गुहार लगाता रहे और सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजमेंट आने के बाद सौहार्दपूर्ण वातावरण में इसकी पूर्ति हो।
On the other hand, the upper house took up a short duration discussion on white paper on the Indian economy.
White paper has been laid on the table by a government which, after 10 full years of pulling out an Indian economy which was in a state of fragile 5 to reach the stage of top 5 economy and on the verge of reaching top 3 position. It is a statement laid with responsibility so that the records of the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha have the factual information on the economy.
माननीय HD देवगौड़ा जी 2 मिनट कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं तो आप
In upper house, former Prime Minister Dev Gowda praised the central government's decision to bestow the Bharat Ratna on former Prime Ministers Chaudhry Charan Singh and P.V. Narasimha Rao and agricultural scientist M.S. Swaminathan.
About Chaudhry Charan Singh or Narasimha Rao or Swaminathan, volumes we can speak. For such people who has confirmed the Bharat Ratna, the house should enjoy, the country should welcome, the country is going to welcome.
Rashtriya Lok Dal Chief Jayant Chaudhary too praised the government for honouring Chaudhry Charan Singh with Bharat Ratna.
दूसरा बड़ा काम जो भारत सरकार ने किया भारत रत्न देकर हौसला बढ़ाया। मैं मानता हूं कि ये एक महज पुरस्कार नहीं है, सबसे बड़ा सम्मान है और मैं फिर अपने तरफ से ऋणी हूं, कहना चाहता हूं एक जमीनी सरकार जो जमीन की आवाज को समझती है और बुलंद करना चाहती है, ऐसी ही सरकार धरती पुत्र चौधरी चरण सिंह जी को भारत रत्न दे सकती है।
The interim budget session had commenced on 31st of January with President Draupadi Murmu delivering an inaugural address to joint session of both houses. The interim budget for 2024-25 was presented on February 1. It was the first full session in the new Parliament building, which was inaugurated in May last year. Fuzail Ahmed reporting for DD India.
India's Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Saturday announced that Citizen Amendment Act or CAA 2019 will be notified and implemented before the upcoming Lok Sabha elections. The Citizen Amendment Act, Home Minister Shah stressed, was brought in to provide citizenship and not take away anyone's citizenship. Nikita has the details.
India's Union Home Minister made a big announcement on Saturday while speaking at the ET Now Global Business Summit. The minister said that the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019 will be notified and implemented before the upcoming Lok Sabha election.
सीए देश का कानून है, इसका नोटिफिकेशन निश्चित रूप से हो जाएगा। चुनाव के पहले ही सीए को अमल में आना है, इसमें किसी को कंफ्यूजन रखना नहीं है।
Union Minister Shah further stressed that the act is to provide citizenship and not to take away anyone's citizenship. The Citizenship Amendment Act or CAA was passed in the Indian Parliament on December 11, 2019, amending the Citizenship Act of 1955 after facing persecution in Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. Citizenship Amendment Act 2019 enables 6 minority communities to apply for Indian citizenship. 6 minority communities from 3 specified countries in India because of persecution on grounds of their religion to apply for Indian citizenship. It does not amend any existing legal provision. CAA has been in public domain since 2016. CAA was cleared by a 30-member parliamentary committee from both houses. Central government will frame rules to operationalize the provisions of CAA. Migrants will have to apply online and the competent authority would see whether they fulfill all the qualifications for registration or naturalization as an Indian citizen. This act was introduced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led government with an aim to confer Indian citizenship to refugees who came to India before December 2014. With Nikita's report, Siddharth Bharadwaj, DD India.
Still to come on DD India News Hour. The political history of Pakistan is laden with turmoil. 30 prime ministers, none have completed a full 5-year term. Russian offensive continues. Drone attack kills 7 in Ukraine's Kharkiv. Former President Donald Trump wins Nevada's Republican caucus, securing his 3rd straight state victory.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I am Anil Thomas. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on Saturday spoke about challenges to stability and sustainability underlying resilient supply chains in the Indian Ocean states. While participating in the Indian Ocean Conference in Australia's Perth, India's External Affairs Minister also addressed the Indian community and stressed upon rising relationship between the two nations.
India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar on Saturday addressed the Indian community in Australia's Perth, where he participated in the 2-day Indian Ocean Conference. During the conference, Jaishankar emphasized stability in the Indian Ocean region and highlighted regional challenges and connectivity initiatives. Addressing the Indian community, he stressed upon the rising relationships between India and Australia.
The first message I bring to you today is the relationship is doing great. There's an enormous commitment from India, starting with the Prime Minister, to build on this partnership. And it is something which we regard today. Yesterday when I addressed the Indian Ocean Conference, I said I regard this as the most consequential relationship we have in the Indian Ocean.
The 7th edition of the Indian Ocean Conference was held in Perth, Australia from 9th to 10th of February, which brought together delegations of over 22 countries and witnessed the participation of over 400 social and corporate leaders, policy practitioners and scholars. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar discussed ties with his Australian counterpart on day 2 of the conference and shared interests in the Indo-Pacific.
This is an Indian perspective. It also reflects three very important relationships with Australia, with the US, with Japan, which have transformed after the end of the Cold War. So if you look at the big picture change and then these three key relationships, three bilateral relationships changing, then they kind of come together today to really create the plot.
After attending a fireside chat with Foreign Minister Penny Wong, Jaishankar visited Selaini Avenue in Perth and met Indian veterans and community leaders. The Selaini Avenue is named after Nain Singh Selaini, an Indian origin soldier honoured in Australia. On the sidelines of the 7th Indian Ocean Conference in Perth, the External Affairs Minister also held meetings with leaders from the attending countries, including Madagascar Foreign Minister, Sri Lankan President, Singapore's Foreign Minister of Mauritius, and exchanged views on strategic partnerships and global issues.
Well, Pakistan's Chief of Army Staff, Asim Munir, congratulated the country on Saturday for the successful conduct of its national elections, saying the country needed stable hands to move on from the politics of anarchy and polarization. Two former Prime Ministers, Nawaz Sharif and Imran Khan, both declared victory on Friday. Meanwhile, the US, Great Britain and the European nation expressed concern about Pakistan's electoral process. Here's a comprehensive report on what lies ahead for Pakistan. Many are surprised this time around. The independents, backed by jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan, registered victory at more than 90 seats for National Assembly. However, Nawaz Sharif-led Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz emerged as the single largest political party, securing more than 70 seats. Sharif's party was followed by Pakistan People's Party, PPP, winning more than 50 seats. Both parties agreed to form a coalition government.
Muslim League Noon is the largest single party in the country today after the elections, और मैं समझता हूँ कि हमारा फर्ज है कि इस मुल्क को भंवर से निकाला जाए। हम दिल की गहराइयों से एहतराम करते हैं, चाहे वो पार्टी है, चाहे वो फर्द वाहिद है।
Pakistan Army Chief Asim Munir congratulated the country for the successful conduct of its national elections, saying the nation needed stable hands to move on from the politics of anarchy and polarization. The delay in announcement of election results have also led to some concerns. A senior aide of Imran Khan said that protests will be held on Sunday if complete poll results are not announced by tonight. Meanwhile, the United States, Great Britain, and the European Union on Friday separately expressed concerns about Pakistan's electoral process and urged a probe into reported irregularities. Analysts predicted that there may be no clear winner and it cannot deliver economic benefit.
It will be a hung parliament, and hung parliament actually cannot deliver some economic benefit to the people of Pakistan, because the present situation regarding Pakistan's economic and social and political is very precarious. So we have to see that how this coalition government comes to power, they can solve these problems.
In another development after the poll result, Pakistan Anti-Terrorist Court on Saturday granted bail to jailed Imran Khan in 12 cases linked to the May 9th attacks on military installations. Aman Kumar Himanshu's report for DD India. Well, Pakistan's fresh election results have sparked concerns. As no lessons were learned from military intervention in the past, Pakistan continues to suffer. From historical coup to contemporary power dynamics, the military shadow looms large, shaping not only government but also economic policies and foreign relations. Jessica Taneja has the latest.
The ink on Pakistan's latest election results might be dry, but suspicion of military's fingerprints still lingers. Claims of their influence echo past interventions, raising uncomfortable questions about their role in shaping the nation's democratic journey.
Across the ceasefire line.
Let's rewind. In 1958, Ayub Khan's coup ushered in a decade of military rule. Talk about elections under his rule? Questionable at best. Another coup in 1977 ousted democratically elected Prime Minister Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, allowing Ziaul Haq's military regime to take the reins. Elections followed, but under Zia's thumb, their legitimacy was forever tainted. Fast forward to 1999, when Nawaz Sharif's government was toppled by General Pervez Musharraf's coup. In this election, once the blue-eyed boy of the army, Imran Khan is now serving a jail term, and his chances of becoming a prime minister look grim. This isn't a historical baggage. Military's influence extends far beyond battlefields and overt power grabs. It's a web of control encompassing economic policy, foreign relations, and defense, making the civilian government a junior partner at best. Factor this: the military and not the finance minister often dictates the country's economic policy. From prioritizing defense spending over social welfare to influencing lucrative contracts, the military's sway is undeniable. Remember, the Karachi Port Development Project was awarded to a military-linked firm despite transparency concerns. Even now, Pakistan's foreign policy prioritizes military interests over civilian goals for peace and development. Few decades ago, General Pervez Musharraf's ill-advised military misadventure in Kargil strained relations with India and derailed the country's economic progress. The cost of these interventions cuts deep. For years, Pakistan's military ensured the people remained poor and uneducated. Its control over a significant chunk of the national budget leaves little room for other sectors. As defense spending devoured nearly 17% of the total national budget, literacy rates hovered around 60%, while the budget allocated to education stood only at 2% of the GDP, and healthcare received a meager 2.5%. But here's the thing. This power play disguised as patriotism has eroded public trust and weakened civilian institutions. Pakistan deserves better. Transparent investigations, empowered civilian institutions, and a culture of accountability are the only antidotes to this toxic cycle. Jessica Taneja for DD India.
Well, shifting focus to the Russia-Ukraine armed conflict, Russia's drone strike on Ukraine's Kharkiv region on Saturday killed 7 people, including 3 children, as well as caused damage to residential buildings and infrastructure, along with fires. According to the Ukrainian Air Forces, their air defense and mobile groups of drone hunters shot down 23 out of the 31 Russian-launched drones, which were targeting the Kharkiv region, along with the Odessa region in the south. Meanwhile, Russia says it foiled Ukrainian drone attacks on civilian cargo ships in the Black Sea on Friday night and asserted that no Russian military or civilian vessels were damaged. Russia's defense minister Sergei Shoigu has said that the country's production of military drones had ramped up in the past year, though certain technical issues still needed tackling. Russia has made extensive use of drones in the course of its almost 2-year-long military campaign in Ukraine, but has often had to rely on Iranian-made Shahid drones. Shoigu further went on to say that the meeting related to the use of artificial intelligence in drones and electronic warfare.
The production capacities that has been created allow us to complete most of the tasks that we face today. I mean, countering FPV drones, it's all about radio electronic warfare on the tactical level and use of artificial intelligence. It is all being worked on.
Well, still to come on DD India News Hour. After the break, we'll have a wide range of discussions on the Pakistan poll results. Well, devotees from far and wide converge at the sacred Ram Janmabhoomi temple in Ayodhya.
never stops, where information shapes our reality. One app stands out, helps you stay ahead of time. Introducing the DD India app, your gateway to a world of news right at your fingertips. Your most trusted source of news goes global, goes digital. Explore a world of options, top stories, live updates, in-depth analysis, and more. Stay informed wherever you are. Real-time alerts keep you ahead of the curve always. The DD India app, connecting you to the world one story at a time. Download now and explore the world of knowledge, insights, and authentic information.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I am Anil Thomas. A quick recap of the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks in Lok Sabha on the last day of budget session, hails game-changing reforms which will lay the foundation of strong India. 17th Lok Sabha sees 97% productivity. Amit Shah guarantees Citizenship Amendment Act implementation ahead of Lok Sabha 2024 showdown. Nawaz Sharif reaches out to Pakistan's People's Party leader Bilawal Bhutto for a coalition government formation. Independent candidates backed by Imran Khan emerge as the single largest group in the National Assembly. Well, to get a perspective on what exactly is happening in the Pakistan elections that took place on the 8th of this month, we're still waiting for results to come in. Two eminent guests joining us this evening on News Hour, Dr. Anshul Joshi from the School of International Studies, JNU, and Shubhajit Roy, senior diplomatic journalist, joining us this evening. Anshul, let me first come to you. Results still not out for 10 of the 265 seats contested in the election. 48 hours passed after the polls closed. When do we see the final tally, the final number come out?
At present, Anil, and we cannot say anything. But sure, it's for sure that there is a hung house for Pakistan's assembly. And everybody expected that stability and democracy would return to Pakistan with these elections. But that does not seem to be happening. And the irony is that despite winning 100 seats with the help of the independent candidates who are backing Imran Khan, he is sitting in jail. And with 72 seats in his hands, Nawaz Sharif is claiming victory in these elections, and he is claiming to form government with the support of Bilawal Bhutto's party, who has won 53 seats so far. And Nawaz somewhere has a clear-cut support of Pakistani army. And that is why there is another kind of a theory or a conspiracy theory, we can say, that says that it's all well scripted, and the script was written long back. I mean, you look at the timing of Imran Khan's this decision of sending him to jail, and look at the timing when Nawaz Sharif was brought back to the mainstream politics of Pakistan. So the situation seems to be tough at present, Anil, but I would say that whosoever forms the government or wears the crown, it's going to be a crown of thorns, and the weaker the government would be, there would be more say of Pakistani army into it. So I do not see anything, going to be under a big transformation after these elections.
Mr. Roy, when Anshul mentions the role of the army, the army chief did come out and make, some kind of a statement which indicated that it's time for all to come together and maybe look at taking Pakistan forward. Do you see the likelihood of that happen? One, and how much of a role will army now have to play, as these numbers come out?
Well, this election has been rigged from the start. The Pakistan army is actually constructing the coalition as we speak.
Okay.
as Anshu Joshi, Professor Anshu Joshi just pointed out, the script was written much earlier when Nawaz Sharif, who had fallen out of favor with the army in 2017, when he was ousted from the prime ministership and then was sent on an exile to London, to UK. He was brought back as the favorite candidate of the Pakistan army, as it's called in Pakistan media, the Pakistan establishment. So they have engineered this particular election in favor of Nawaz Sharif. But the people of Pakistan actually challenged the status quo, have gone out and voted and voted in favor of the independent candidates, which are actually the PTI candidates, because PTI didn't have a symbol, their cricket bat. So therefore, they managed to get 100 seats, which is no mean feat, despite complete lack of level playing field in the elections. They didn't have. They were challenged from filing nominations. Their election symbols were taken away. They were prevented from campaigning, from conducting public meetings. So there was a lot of challenges that the Pakistan military, they put up through the courts as well as the Election Commission of Pakistan. But people of Pakistan really went out and voted in favor of and have elected almost 100 candidates, which is a huge number. And Nawaz Sharif and Asif Ali Zardari and Bhutto family, which leads the PPP, they are now at 70 odd and 50 odd seats. So basically put together, they are about 120 seats thereabouts. And so although Imran Khan's candidates, backed candidates, have mustered 100, they're still short by about 33, 34 seats, because 133, 34 is what they need to win a simple majority in the National Assembly, which is Pakistan's parliament. So in this kind of a scenario, Pakistan army is trying to cobble up their two favorite candidates, Nawaz Sharif and the Bhutto Zardari family, put them together and get some independence, as well as there are some parties, for example, the Ishtaqam Pakistan party, which is led by Jahangir Tareen, were actually deserters from PTI.
Okay.
They left PTI when PTI was challenged. Their workers were harassed, intimidated, arrested, and so then they switched sides. With the Pakistan military's blessings, they formed a new party. They have won a couple of seats, I saw. There's still about 10 seats which are the results are yet to come out. So we'll have to see if they are right now. Yesterday, Nawaz Sharif made it very clear that he is not, he's the single largest party, but he's short of majority. Okay. So he's talking to the coalition the other opposition parties to cobble up the coalition, which is essentially is engineered and has the blessings of the Pakistan army.
Okay, Dr. Joshi, looking at the odds that Imran faced, in jail, this particular elections, do you see the results that he has got now, indicate that Imran Khan is here to stay, and Imran Khan has turned the tables on Nawaz Sharif and the Bhuttos?
Imran Khan has indeed turned the table to Nawaz Sharif and Bhutto family. But we also should not forget that by the end of the day, the baton or the lever of the control of this political regime of Pakistan still seems to be in the hands of Pakistani army. As Shubhojit has very well explained, and chronologically he has explained that how a Pakistani army has played an integral role in writing this script of this coalition government to be formed with the support of Bilawal Bhutto's party. Nawaz Sharif could become the new head of the state. But we all know for years it is Pakistani army that is running the government in Pakistan. And because of that, Pakistan is not only facing numerous political, economic and other challenges, it has also earned a very bad name in international realms. So considering the kind of challenges Pakistan is presently facing, I do agree to what Pakistan's Army Chief Asif Munir said, that this is the time when the nation needs to be in the stable hands to move on from the politics of anarchy and polarization. But here I would like to state that this has to be read from what people of Pakistan want, who have voted for these 100 candidates who won independently, who are actually from Imran Khan's side. So soon we are going to see some other circus happening in the political circuits of Pakistan, but I do not see Pakistani army stepping back from maintaining the political regime or government of Pakistan.
Mr. Roy, do you see the likelihood of a legal battle, a long-drawn legal battle that happens once these numbers are out, and the ball clearly coming in the judiciary's court to choose or to go?
In the past, we have seen the past year and a half how judiciary has behaved against the PTI, against Imran Khan and his party. They sort of adjudicated him, put him behind bars in 3 cases. So essentially in Pakistan, the whole the narrative is that the unelected forces of Pakistan, military, Election Commission of Pakistan, and the judiciary have come down hard against, have cracked down hard against the PTI. Okay. And that is the big challenge. And right now what has happened is people of Pakistan, through PTI candidates, have challenged the status quo, have challenged the establishment for the first time. This is a historic moment in Pakistan's politics where military is facing a challenge from the people there on the ground. And how Asim Munir today reacted when he talked about anarchy and polarization, he's actually hitting out at Imran Khan and his party, because he and his army and the establishment has accused PTI of creating anarchy in the country on May 9th last year, when Imran Khan was arrested, and PTI supporters, activists entered military installations and even an army general's residence. So that's the anarchy he's addressing. So basically battle lines have been drawn and hardened between now Asim Munir versus Imran Khan, and we'll see this play out in the next months and weeks. Okay,
Anshul Joshi, final word from you. Looking at the potential consequences of a consensus not reached, do you see the likelihood of a constitutional crisis? One, and secondly, in the State Secrets Act, the State Secrets leak that Pakistan former Prime Minister Imran Khan has been accused of, there is a likelihood of him getting a death sentence. In that, perspective, put this elections and the numbers that come out before us.
Imran Khan's cases are under the probe, and when it comes to constitutional crisis, we have seen how Pakistan has faced it multiple times in past. And moreover, I only want to say that democracy should return to Pakistan. Only then it would be able to run a stable and a good government. And so far, I don't see that happening. Imran Khan has released an audio-visual message, and he created it with the help of AI, and he's rejecting Sharif's claim of victory in the elections. On the other hand, Sharif is claiming his victory. So, I mean, the situation, it looks like a circus. So we'll wait, Anil, and we'll see what unfolds by tomorrow. But I don't think a big change happening in what we see today. As in, Pakistani army is actually deciding everything what is going on in Pakistan.
Well, 30 prime ministers, what Pakistan have seen, not one has completed a full term. But surely this particular elections, especially the use of artificial intelligence, will be another talking chapter for another day. We'll thank both the guests joining us, Shobhajit Roy, as well as Dr. Anshul Joshi, for joining us this evening. Well, time now to move on and take a look at other stories making news. Indian Army's Eastern Command's Investiture Ceremony 2024 was organized at the Bangdubi military station on Saturday in the Indian state of West Bengal. A cultural concert comprising of Army Band Symphony Fusion performance and the theatre play on Operation Vijay 1971 was conducted on the occasion. Local residents staged protest after a man died when a wild elephant attack in the Wayanad district. The victim was attacked when the elephant ventured into a residential area in the Malappuram district in the Indian southern state of Kerala. In a commendable effort to foster camaraderie and promote community engagement, the Indian Army has orchestrated an inspiring snow cricket tournament at the Gagar Hill village, a locale adjacent to the line of control in the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir. Devotees from far and wide converge at the sacred Ram Janmabhoomi temple in Ayodhya, drawn by the spiritual allure and the desire to pay homage to Lord Ram through darshan, seeking blessings and divine inspiration. Still to come on DD India News Hour. Indian squad for the last 3 tests versus England announced. Akashdeep gets a maiden test call. India and Australia set to renew rivalry in the Under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup on Super Sunday. AFC Asian Cup final brings FIFA World Cup frenzy back to Qatar. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Anil Thomas. As the US is gearing up for the presidential elections in November, former President Donald Trump on Friday promised to undo all the gun restrictions enacted by President Joe Biden during his term. Meanwhile, US Vice President Kamala Harris defended Biden in response to a critical report and called it politically motivated. Here's a detailed look by DD India's Faiz Khan.
As the US presidential poll campaign heats up, Democrats and Republicans are leaving no stones unturned to woo the voters by their promises. Former US President Donald Trump said that if re-elected, he would reverse all the gun restrictions enacted by US President Joe Biden. Trump secured a landslide victory in the Nevada Republican Party's caucus, claiming 99% of the vote and all of the state's delegates.
I just want to really thank the great people of Nevada, because this was a turnout. I don't know if you know, you broke the all-time record. The all-time caucus record was broken.
This win further solidifies his lead in the race for the presidential nominee, with his closest competitor, Nikki Haley, not even present on the ballot. This significant triumph reflects Trump's dominance within the party. Trump needs to accrue 1,215 delegates to formally clinch the party's nomination and could reach that number in March.
Look, whilst Nevada will be hotly contested in the November presidential election, this result was a foregone conclusion. The only other person facing off against Donald Trump was Pastor Ryan Binkley, Trump's closest serious challenger. Former United Nations ambassador and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley had opted not to take part in the Nevada caucus, claiming it had been rigged for Trump. She appeared in the primary vote earlier this week instead, amid a dispute between the political parties in the state, but she lost in that primary anyway, embarrassingly beaten by the none of these candidates option. Pledging to prevent what she calls a coronation, Haley's vowed to continue competing, despite coming second to Trump in votes in Iowa and New Hampshire, outcomes which set him on course to becoming the Republican Party's presumptive nominee for the presidency.
US Vice President Kamala Harris defended President Joe Biden in response to a critical report and called it politically motivated. She highlighted Biden's proactive leadership during intense moments such as the October 7th attack on Israel last year.
Israel experienced a horrific attack, and I will tell you, we got the calls, the president and myself, in the hours after that occurred. He was in front of it all, coordinating and directing leaders who are in charge of America's national security, not to mention our allies around the globe. For days, and up until now, months. So the way that the president's demeanor in that report was characterized could not be more wrong on the facts and clearly politically motivated.
Meanwhile, a prosecutor said that President Joe Biden will not face charges for knowingly taking classified documents when he left the vice presidency in 2017. Special counsel Robert Hur said in a report that he opted against bringing criminal charges following a 15-month probe because Biden cooperated and would be difficult to convict, describing him as a quote-unquote well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
Well, India's fintech interface UPI is set to be launched in Sri Lanka on Monday. The interface will be linked with Lankan Pay to allow digital transactions on UPI in Sri Lanka. And according to the media reports, Sri Lanka's Foreign Minister Ali Sabri said that the leaders of both countries will connect online for the launch event. Real-time payment systems developed by the National Payments Corporation of India, that's NPCI. The interface helps interbank peer-to-peer and person-to-merchant transactions. The Tamang community of Nepal is celebrating the new year, calling it Sonam Hoshar, by organizing several programs over the weekend. It's a public holiday in the Himalayan nation. The Tamang community is populated in different districts of Bagmati region. Musical and dance performances are organized in Tundikel of Kathmandu Valley, where Tamangs wear their traditional attire and gather to celebrate the festival. According to the Manjushri calendar, the 2860 year starts from today, and the tiger year enters after completion of the cow year. Sonam Hoshar festival is celebrated yearly on the occasion of Magh Shukla Pratipada. Let's take a look at some other stories making news around the world. A 4-man crew, including Turkey's first astronaut, returned to Earth after a 2-week visit to the International Space Station. The space mission, arranged entirely by and commercial expense by Texas-based startup Axiom Space. The spacecraft carrying the Axiom Mission 3 crew members landed at sea near Florida and was then dragged to a recovery vessel where the team was assisted out of the capsule. The Anheuser-Busch Brewing Company hitched its famous Budweiser Clydesdale horses to a carriage for a march around Las Vegas, promising crowds 2 days before the Super Bowl. The horses, which stand 6 feet tall at the shoulder, participated in the ceremony. For decades, the horses have been a mainstay in Budweiser's commercials running during the Super Bowl. Elton John is downsizing, and the superstar's former penthouse residence in Atlanta has been emptied for a series of auctions in New York. The items are expected to bring in an estimated $10 million, and the series of over 3 live auctions and 6 online auctions of nearly 950 items will begin on the 21st of Feb. The world's biggest carnival bash kicked off as musicians and dancers paraded their way through Rio de Janeiro's Samba Dome. Hundreds of street bands and revelers descended on Brazil's capital, Rio, during the 4-day celebrations. The Rio de Janeiro Carnival runs until the 12th of Feb. Well, time now to get you all the sports updates. Indian batsman Virat Kohli has been ruled out of the remaining 3 tests of the 5-match home series with England due to personal reasons. Meanwhile, pacer Akashdeep has earned his maiden test call-up for India as the BCCI announced India's squad for the remaining test matches versus England. Batter Shreyas Iyer has been dropped due to a groin injury. All-rounder Ravindra Jadeja and wicketkeeper batter KL Rahul, who had missed the second test due to injuries, have been included in the squad but will play subject to fitness clearance. The third test will be held in Rajkot from Feb 15th, which matches to follow in Ranchi and Dharamshala. England won the opening test match in Hyderabad before the hosts levelled the series in Visakhapatnam to read 1-all. Well, that's all in this edition of DD India News Hour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also visit our website, ddindia.co.in. We're going to be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Anil Thomas from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.